my name is Jake Kwiatkowski. I am a marketing manager here at the game agency, the gaming division of eLearning Brothers. And we are now going to talk about the training arcade and all of the new features that we have been adding to it throughout the year, why they are useful to you, and how they can make you a better trainer. So, oh, hey, Syracuse, good to see you. And no, I didn't go to RIT, I went to Nazareth. So, all right. So first of all, the first new feature that we added to the training arcade that we've been talking about this morning and are very excited about is our new game, Wheel of Fortune. So Wheel of Fortune is a great addition because like Jeopardy, which we'll get to later, is instantly recognizable brand. I believe it's the most watched game show in America at this time. So using Wheel of Fortune, it's something that your learners, there might be a ping of nostalgia about it. When I grew up, I first watched Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy and The Price is Right at my grandmother's house. So it just makes me, I know the rules, I know how it goes, makes me want to play the game and engage with that training material that you all have worked on so hard. So besides that, Wheel of Fortune is good for quick recall. It places a premium on fast retrieval of concepts. There is the timer, so you get more points the faster that you ask something. As Richard had said earlier in one of the shuffle games, I believe, maybe if you have healthcare reps and the names of prescriptions are changing all the time and you want them to be able to quickly recall off the top of their head what the prescriptions are, Wheel of Fortune would be a great game for that. Improve skills and concept connections, memorization, stress management, because you got to work under pressure, right, to get that answer in as quick as possible for the most points. And it's really, really good, again, for quick in and out training. If you do the, oh my goodness, what's the name of it? The toss-up puzzle, there you go, where the letters slowly creep along. You can even change which letters show up. As with anything in the training arcade, the games that you create are completely customizable for your needs. So Wheel of Fortune, we're really excited about it. And hopefully we all have a time to play that game together that Richard was talking about sometime later in this day. We have a new language. Some language questions have been asked already, so that is fantastic. But this year, we were really excited to add Greek, bringing our total supported languages to 17. As the world goes global, this conference is a case in point. We're all sitting in completely different parts of the world, but we're all still talking to each other. You want to be able to have your trainers, your clients, your attendees, whatever it may be, answer and play these games in their own languages. And we're always trying to add new ones so that as you grow globally, your games can grow with you to engage learners in any country and numerous different languages. All righty, what is next? New reporting features. All right, buckle up. This is where it gets fun. If you're a data nerd like me too, I was really excited about some of this stuff. So bulk reporting is a new feature. Beforehand in the training arcade, you exported a CSV through each individual game. And you can do that. But if you're like me and you need to export multiple games at a time, I have a example on screen here of a conference we went to where we played a lot of games. And so I can go into the CMS and I can download any amount of games that I want all into one zip file, and then just export them all into your CSV files that we're also happy to use all the time. And voila, saves yourself some time, saves yourself some stress of managing all those different downloads, all those different files, and you can just get it all done in one bulk download. All right. Game database management. Along these same lines, I love to organize. It's actually how I relax and find my happy place, is organizing closets and cleaning. So I'm really happy about some of this stuff. We took a cue from arcades in which you could tag games. VIC test game, is it a marketing thing? Is it for your new hires? Is it a particular subjective game like finance? You can now tag away to your heart's content. Now, you can also organize games or search for games through the name, of course. We'll get there in another second, why that could be an issue. But if you have games of the same name, or maybe you continually go to different classes or different, the same conferences, you can create tags, and that's just better data management. Database management puts a couple minutes back in your day and relieves some stress. So on top of that, game archive. So if you're in your game building it and scroll all the way down to the bottom, you get to the danger zone, and we already had a danger zone question earlier. That was apt timing. And you can archive a game. So if you look here like us, I took a page from our own CMS. We really like 70s pop culture. And oh my goodness, do we have a lot of games named 70s pop culture. We probably don't need all of them. And so we could archive some of these games, put them in the back end, get them out of the main view to just, again, clear up the clutter. If you're looking at a more organized structure, you feel a little more organized, your day's a little better. So we need to eat our own dog food here on some of these Jeopardy games and archive them ourselves. So you can organize again, declutter, give yourself time back in your day and make things more efficient. And that's what we're all looking for. And by the way, if you archive a game, it can be brought back to life, so to speak, and all of the data associated with that game stays there and is easily accessible. So it's not like the game is deleted. You can do that if you want to. It just kind of gets out of your way a little bit to make things a little nicer and cleaner. We have a couple other new game features that don't have to do so much with database management that we are excited to talk about. Session limits. This is actually a really cool and exciting one that a lot of people have asked for, and we are really happy to say that we have them now. So session limits can do a bunch of different things. So you don't want possibly your learners or your attendees to be padding their score. So, you know, hey, at the end of a week, whoever has the high score on this game is going to win whatever that may be. Well, if someone plays the game 10,000 times, they're probably 100 times, let's be real. If they play 100 times, they're probably going to have a higher score than a person who played it once or twice. And that's not really fair. So you can set it for that limit. Also, if you just want to do a knowledge check, say you actually don't want to give your learners the opportunity to go back a second or third time and know the answer. You just want to give them one shot. Do you know this stuff right now? Because, hey, the test is in an hour and this is your last chance to study for it. You can set that as well. Also, session limits are really good for sales motivation. I talked about how, you know, you have a week-long contest. Maybe it's shorter than that. Maybe your sales team, you want them to get the highest score and memorize the most new prescriptions that are coming out or whatever kind of information they need to easily recall and get back. So giving them only a couple of times to get that high score, that can be a useful thing as well. Late joining trivia. So we've all been there. We've all been this poor woman, and we've all had learners and users who have been this poor woman. It happens, right? You're late. Things happen. You missed the bus. The car won't start. You spilled your coffee. All those things you need to get to work and get to the game. Now, if your learners are late to a VILT, which is virtual instructor-led training session, the same goes for Jeopardy as well, they can join. They will only be shown the upcoming questions. Of course, they'll join the game in progress, so to speak. And they still have the ability to win the game, of course. It just might be a little more difficult if, say, you missed half the questions and the ability to garner up those points. But now, if someone is late to the trivia game or a Jeopardy game, there's no need to panic on their end. They can simply log in and answer the questions that are coming up for them. All right, now we're going to get on to new Jeopardy features. So I talked about earlier how I first watched Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune with my grandmother. Jeopardy has a real soft spot in my heart. I watch it every night. So the new Jeopardy feature that we and I are most excited to tell you about is this. All right. Can everyone hear that beautiful, beautiful music that's happening? The Jeopardy music is, and I'm going to steal a line from my coworker Vic here, it's comfort food for your ears. Hearing the Jeopardy Think music, it just gets people engaged. It gets them pumped and excited. If you're a trivia nerd like me, the Jeopardy Think music is just synonymous with quiz, with Jeopardy. And again, if you're like me, some nostalgia. So by adding games like Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune, you get people to just engage because they know the games. They maybe grew up with them and they might even know the rules themselves. All right. Next slide. There we go. Okay, some more VILT updates to Jeopardy. VILT, again, is a virtual instructor-led training, and we made an effort to update the VILT stuff in the last year due to the fact that we're all still online. Again, case in point, this conference, right? So we have a few features that can help you further engage your audience and makes it easier to run Jeopardy games, much like Mark was doing earlier in the day. So, instructor save state. If you lose connection to the game that you're running, because again, it happens, right? You can reconnect to the game, and maybe your players have to wait for a second and figure out, oh no, we lost the teacher, we lost boss, where'd they go? But instead of the game needing to be completely restarted and done over, you just go right back to the next clue once you have reconnected. Mark actually showcased this one earlier, Fast Pass. If you are running out of time because you're on a tight schedule, you can skip ahead to Final Jeopardy. Also, all of the games we've been playing today have just Jeopardy in them. You can add double Jeopardy as well. In the interest of time, we usually keep it to a single round of Jeopardy. And if you're in either of those, you can go ahead and skip to the final if you're just simply short on time. Response counter. You can now track responses via the host portal. So this is a really cool function that I use when we're running our Jeopardy games on Friday. Get there in a moment. You can see in real time who is answering what on the back end. And that's how Mark was able to respond. Oh, so-and-so's got it. Such of you or percentage of you have it at this time. So once again, when you are leading these games, it's just another opportunity to engage your audience, give you some actionable data. Maybe you go, oh, wow, 80% of people got this wrong. Maybe I want to stop here for a second, focus back in on this data, on this clue or this question, and ask myself, why did so many people get this wrong? Spend a little more time and focus on that. Response counter, we just did that, sorry. And the wager counter, very much the same thing. You can now see how much people are wagering in real time. The average wager is one more piece of data and information to just engage your audience with, get them in on the game, get that competition factor up a little bit. And I saw it plenty of times here, people asking for the leaderboard to see where they stood in the Jeopardy game. So all of these things just help you engage your audience and get them really excited about Jeopardy or whatever training game that you are using to engage with and retain your material. We have even more Jeopardy updates because we just love Jeopardy so much. An assigned daily double. So right now, the daily double, and by default, the daily double is set at random. It shows up at some random clue during the game. If, say, you're running this game on heart anatomy, disease and medicine, and say that $600 clue in heart disease, like that was really the most important one. You thought it was kind of difficult. It has a lot of weight. You really want your learners or your users to hone in on that question. Maybe you make that specific question the daily double. Just another way to customize your game and make sure that your learners are engaging with the right parts of your training. Translations. Richard just very thankfully showed us all of this. And you can set default languages in Jeopardy. However, the translation template available for the clues and responses is not available at the moment. We are constantly making updates to languages and what is supported in the translations. Again, as we at eLearning Brothers and the game agency grow globally, our list of languages is going to grow with it. Fun mode. So this is the thing. It breaks my heart every time I'm watching Jeopardy and someone is in negative and they can't play Final Jeopardy. Like, it just breaks my heart. That poor person, we want them to play. So we at the game agency believe you should play. So even if you have $0 or -$dollars at the end of the game, your learners can still play Final Jeopardy. You can't wager because they have no money to wager, but you can get bragging rights. You could just still be a part of the action, and you don't have to sit out on the poor sidelines there and, darn, I missed Final Jeopardy. In-person mode. This was brought back, again, due to the last couple of years where everyone was online, mostly, if not all the time. We focused on the virtual instructor-led training, but we have brought back instructor-led training. Now, this is really cool. The difference here is when you are virtually playing the game, like we all are right now, you see everything that's happening on the board, every clue, every motion, etc. For in-person mode, when it gets to, let's say we need heart disease for 200, when I click on the clue, the screen that the players would see, or the users, goes blue, so there's nothing to look at, so that they have to focus their attention on the person running the game. It makes them physically look up from their phone, their laptop, whatever device they may be using, look at the speaker, engage with them physically in that real space. Again, hopefully we're all back there soon. And away from their screens for a minute. And then when the instructor is done reading the clue, the answers pop back up, and then the users and the players focus back down on their screen, answer their question, and off you go. So it's just another way to get people physically involved in a physical space, if that so allows. All right, so those are most of the updates that we have made to the Training Arcade in the last year. I want to leave on, I talked about how Fridays we play Jeopardy games, and we do. If you want to follow this link, at 1 o'clock Eastern every Friday, Mark, usually, sometimes myself, will be running a Jeopardy game, and the clues are actually from the show. We get them sent to us every week by Sony, and they are clues from past games in the past couple of years. So if you want to see Jeopardy used in a not so much training situation, but more of a fun live event where we throw around random knowledge, we throw around some clues and end our week on a good time, follow this link here, or you can check it out on our website. thetrainingarcade.com is a link right at the top. It's free to play, there are prizes, and it really is a good time just to do something fun on your Friday afternoon, meet other L&D folks, and see again how Jeopardy can be used as a fun team building event and not only for training purposes, for which it is also incredible. So thank you very much. Those are the updates we have right now to the Training Arcade. Are there any questions that I can answer?
We do have a question. I'm getting an answer. It's from Rolanda. She says, for an archive game, are the data stats also archived? And would the creator have to transfer the data immediately, or could they go back at a later time and get those stats? And in case you don't know, Jake, which you might know, I've been told, no, the data remains in place. Only deleting a game will remove the data.
Correct. Yes.
And I think a couple people also asked about archiving games and experience points, which means they're referring to the arcades, the gamification platform. And if you add a game to an arcade, you are blocked from archiving it. So hopefully that answers that question.
Gotcha.
And I think that is it, unless anybody wants to throw another question in now. We have, what, 5 minutes?
A couple minutes, oh yeah. So how many people currently are using the Training Arcade? If you want to answer that in the chat. Is anyone using this tool? Is this something brand new to you? Is this something you would like to?
Oh yeah,
come on into the trial. Great, great.
Subscribers.
Would love to, looking into it. Excellent, excellent. +1, love that. Cool. So I can also say too that coming into this, it's so easy to build these games too. If you are trying to get into games and gamification in your training. I personally build a lot of the Jeopardy games that we use, and the quote hardest part of this is making the content. Obviously, creating the content, making sure that that is, up to snuff, what you need, that takes the most time. But once that is all set aside, dropping and plugging in information, images, audio, all of that good stuff into the training arcade takes minutes. No coding required, nothing of that nature. I can really attest to how simple it is to use this platform.
I can attest, Jake, as well. For those people who don't know me, I am not a technical person. I'm an actor, and I run these games so easily. It is really meant for a dumb human like me to be able to run these things in a seamless way.
You're so much more tech savvy than you give yourself credit for.
Thank you, Jen. But really, truly, you guys have built a platform that is amazing. And I'm not just saying that because my check's clear from you guys. I'm saying that because it's true.
I think the best example is I had my 15-year-old daughter interested in building a game for her history class. And I showed her the CMS and I said, all right, this is how you do it. And I said, well, let me walk you through it. And she looked at it for 5 seconds, was like, Mom, I got it. And she built it and launched it and handed out candy during the class. And yeah, so if a 14 or 15-year-old girl can do it, I think she was 15 at the time, I can't remember, but then anyone can do it.
Mark, you forgot professionally good looking as part of your job.
Man. All right, the check is in the mail, brother. I appreciate you.
All right, I got you.
Does anybody have any more questions for us before I start bringing in our next illustrious speaker?
Yes, there's a couple more which Stephanie has answered. So Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy are both officially licensed with Sony. Somebody was asking about the trademark. We work with them very closely. So any change you make in the game, any creative we get from them, any changes, we have to get them approved. So that game has been built with Sony's permission and approval and as close to the TV shows as possible. Those games, I said that game. So hopefully that answers that. And I think that's it.